Welcome to the Sherry Andrea Psychic Empath Show with your host, Sherry Andrea. Sherry Andrea brings her listeners interesting discussions and topics related to empathy, psychic and spiritual development, as well as energy work. She is herself a psychic empath, healer, coach, author, and founder of SherryAndrea.com. Welcome, and here is your host, Sherry Andrea.
Hello, everyone. This is Sherry Andrea, and thank you for joining me tonight. I am very excited to be here, and this should be a really awesome show. I'm already feeling tingly, and let me do this before I forget, because I always say this. I always forget to say certain things when we start out, so let me get it. Okay, first of all, there's already like 7 callers that are on hold. So just hang in there for a minute. And, I know some of you have been actually in and holding for 15 minutes, so just hang in there. The call-in number is 714-816-4750. So you can either use that number to call in and listen. Like if you have to go out to the grocery store, just, use your cell phone. And you can keep listening to the show. Or if you'd like to call in, we've already got a lot of callers on hold, so you'll have to be patient. But if you'd like to call in, love to talk to you. Tonight's guest, Jaime the Psychic. I'm really excited about Jaime for many reasons. I mean, she's an awesome person, but also because I'm in Orlando and Jaime is also in Orlando. So it's very rare that I actually get to interview someone who's actually in my same city. So that's really exciting for me. I know it doesn't take much for me to get excited. But, and then we have our co-host tonight, Stella. Stella, say hi.
Hi, good evening, everybody.
I'm sorry, I just pulled Stella out of the screening room. I did that. I keep doing that. I did that the last few times, and she's like mid-sentence saying something, and then I yanked her out. Say hello.
Hi. Well, Angela was having so much fun talking to Jaime, so I don't mind being in the same.
I know. Well, let's get started right away since we only have 10,000 callers, and we will bring – Jaime's probably like, what happened? Where'd everybody go? Let's bring Jaime on.
All right.
Jaime, are you there?
I am absolutely here.
Hi, Jaime. This is Jaime. Now, Jaime the Psychic is what she's called, and what many of you who know her are used to her being referred by. So I will call her Jaime the Psychic too.
I hate that name, right? It's not my fault.
I actually do know that because tonight when I was typing something, I was typing the post in on my blog. And I went to type that name. That thought actually came to me. I went, you know what? I bet she doesn't actually like this.
I hate it. It was funny because the first time I ever did radio and the way it came about was a few years ago. And I had done a little thing with the Orlando Sentinel, and they had put me against a monkey, some children, and the guy that predicts all the hurricanes. And they just were joking around. They were having some fun. Who could be right? So I was Jaime the Psychic, and they was the monkey, the children. Well, a few weeks later, I go on radio, and they were talking about it, and they go, so this is Jaime the Psychic, and it just stuck. And I thought, no, because am I a psychic? Yes, absolutely I am. But I'm an energy healer, and so I'm an empath and a medium and a palm reader. And so when I get stuck with the Psychic, the thing that bothers me is that, of course, I believe in a higher power. I couldn't do what I do. Right. And I feel like it alienates certain, like a lot of Christians, and they don't understand that I'm the same as them. It's just that I got stuck with this name. So here I am.
Right. Exactly. And that was so funny because as I was writing the post, that's exactly the thought that came to my mind. I was thinking, I bet she doesn't really like this because I don't really like it either. Because every time...
I've tried 10 times to change it, and my boys, as I call my guides, emphatically will not let me change that name. I don't know if they just want me to change the feeling of the word psychic and maybe make people understand that it's not about, scary people that are doing the devil's work. I don't know.
Right.
But
exactly.
Here I am, stuck with it.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking, too. I was thinking, I don't like this name because she is so much more than that. I mean, this
That's
is
right.
Jaime the Psychic. It's just like a little piece of the iceberg. It's like an ice cube compared to the iceberg. So
you're right. It's like calling the president. It's like calling the president a politician. You know, yes, he's a politician, but he's got so much more responsibility. And you know, I don't have any ego in the game. If that's what the boys want to call me, then okay. At least I didn't get a bad name. Jamie's cool.
Yeah, exactly. It could have been worse. But for anyone who's listening that doesn't know you, now Jaime she is a psychic. She has mediumship abilities. She's clairvoyant, precognitive, which means, and I saw that you did do predictions about American Idol and a couple other shows, I think. And so
the boys want me to.
Actually, that's pretty cool because, I mean, that's a perfect example of how I'm always trying to tell people it's easy to practice your abilities when you're sitting at home, even watching the TV. You know, you could do it. You could even do it with talk shows. You know, so
it takes a lot of guts to get on national TV, and it was funny the first time I did it when they asked me to predict those on the Daily Buzz on Fox. I thought, oh, my gosh, what are you getting me into? And the boys are like, we want you to do it. I said, okay. I actually fully expected to go on there and be wrong, but I didn't care. And I went on there, and when I'm watching the next night and I'm 100% correct, and not only correct on American Idol, but actually in order on Dancing with the Stars and the ending of the Oprah show and the royal wedding, I'm laughing going, you've got to be kidding me. Because it's a lot to go out there and say, this is what I'm going to predict, but I don't care. You know, if it comes out wrong, it never bothers me at all. Because when I'm working one-on-one with a person, my boys are never wrong. They're always right.
And somebody actually emailed me and asked me that the other day. They said, well, are you concerned about being wrong? And I said, well, no, and you shouldn't be concerned with being wrong either because, you can be wrong, but you have to believe that you're not going to be wrong. You're the one that has to believe that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think what it comes down to is saying it's not about me. And, and I'm very adamant about this, that the work that I do, I'm a trained parrot. I listen, I repeat, and if the boys want to be wrong, then there's a reason for that. And I can't tell you how many times I've said to a woman, you are going to have the most beautiful, healthy baby girl. And the miscarriage happens. And they look at me and they say, but Jaime, and I say, listen, I don't know. I just know that it's going to happen. And a year later, they have this beautiful baby girl. And I say, I never said it was this pregnancy. I just said, you're going to have a beautiful baby girl. And so I don't question it. When the boys say something to someone, I say it.
Exactly. And I find myself also often saying that. Like, I can't explain to you why this is right, even though it looks wrong, but it's right.
That's right.
It's, we may not be able to see it right now, why we were right. Right, exactly. You just have to trust and believe that if somebody, says, okay, it's going to be this way, you kind of have to trust and have faith that somehow, some way it is going to be, even if it doesn't look it at the moment.
That's right. And I think a lot of light workers, as I like to call us, there's a lot of ego work that goes in. I've had 17 years of training, and so many times that I was worried. I'm not saying that. I was headed to the Phillips file in Orlando, which I do fairly often, and on the way there was a girl that had been abducted, and the boys told me, as soon as you get to the Phillips file, we want you to say that she will be found by 6:30 p.m. She is in the attic of her father's home. And I couldn't do it. I felt like, wait, if I say this, it could be wrong, and it's radio, and so I said,
and people are going to remember that.
Yeah, and I said she's going to be found, and she's with her father, and that's what I said, and it was still correct. But had I said what the boys wanted me to say, she was found at 6:25 p.m. in the attic of her father's home, and I was completely given that information, and I was uncomfortable because Jaime got in the way of what I was meant to do, and I learned a very valuable lesson that day. And now I went on I was on national TV on the Buzz in I think December or January, predicting the Oscars, and I said on the air, you do realize this is going to be completely wrong because this isn't what I do. And they laughed, and I said, no, I'm serious. It's going to be completely wrong. I got one right. And I'm laughing at this, and I'm going, it's on. I personally posted it on YouTube, me being completely wrong. And they said to me, doesn't that bother you? I said, why on earth would that bother me?
Right,
I am not somebody that comes on and worries about predicting whether somebody's going to win the Oscars. But, boy, if you need to talk to somebody that's crossed over, or you need me to help you with your marriage or your children or your life situation or your cancer or your heart defect, if that's what the boys say I can do, I'm your girl.
Right, exactly. And now, why don't you tell everyone, because I know that I've read that what you do with mediumship is similar to what some people are used to seeing with John Edwards type people. Now, so does it actually come to you in that same way? Like if you,
I have to laugh. Sherry, that's just hysterical because I was sitting at home. I love this show, by the way, because so often when I'm on the radio, I have to rush. So this is actually nice. I was at home in 2004, 2005, and my boys said, we want you to write to John Edward. And I said, why? And they said, well, you're going to work with him one day, and he's not going to answer you. And I said, well, then I'm not writing to him. I used to argue with him all the time. And I said, I'm not writing. And they said, yes, you are. I said, no, I'm not. They said, no, you are. And I said, no, I'm not. And they kept it up, and I finally said, okay, I'll tell you what. I really feel that John Edward is a Libra. I've always connected with John, and I love his work. Yes, by the way, very, very, very much the same. And I said, if John Edward is a Libra, I'll write your letter. And they went, okay. And I thought, oh, no, I'm in a lot of trouble here because if they agree that easily, I know that I'm screwed. So I go, actually, this is funny, but as a single mother of 3 at the time, I'm in the bathroom, and I've got his book Crossing Over, and I literally turn the page. I've forgotten I've made a deal, which is usual for me. I'm extremely ADHD, and whatever. So I'm sitting there, and I turn the page, and the very next line says, I was born October 19th, 1969 in Long Island, New York. And my heart just stopped because my birthday is October 19th, 1969, and I was born in Waterville, Maine, which is the same longitude as Long Island, New York. So I said, okay, I'll write your letter. So I did. I didn't get a reply. About a year later, I was on my way to a spa to get my nails done, and the boy said, we want you to write to John again. And I said, really? Are we doing this again? And I'd got a little more advanced, and I knew not to argue with him. And I said, all right, I'll tell you what. And they go, he's not going to answer you again. And I go, oh, my God. All right, I'll write the letter. If you can find me another famous psychic born on October 19th, I'm thinking, I've got him this time. They go, okay. And I'm like, oh, no. So I get to the salon, and my friend calls me from L.A., and she says, I tell her the story, and I'm laughing. She goes, Jamie, I'm about 99% sure that Sylvia Brown was born October 19th. I go, yeah, right. No way.
Oh.
She goes, hold on. She clicked the click. She goes, yeah, she was born on October 19th. I wrote the letter. And it's so funny because not only is John, yes, very much, when I do my live events or when I'm with a private client, or actually, to be honest, when I'm at a bar or I'm at a baby shower, it makes no difference to me. If I feel someone coming through and I feel like I have permission to do so, I read very similar to John. I think the only difference between John and I, obviously, is my gift is a lot different in the sense that I'm empathic. I work with physical body. I work with a lot of different areas. But yes, as a medium, very, very accurate, very, very similar, which oddly is how my book came about because I did a reading, and it actually flowed from there.
Oh, okay. And your book is, the book that's coming out actually this Sunday, July 1st.
Yes. I'm so excited.
It's called, and I love the title of the book, it's called Answers.
Thank you.
And when I first read that on your website, that's what I thought to myself. I thought, I love the title.
And I wish I had picked it. It wasn't me.
Yeah, it's a great title because I'm like, isn't that what everybody needs? We go into a bookstore, and that is what we're looking for. We know we are looking for the book that has the answers that we're looking for.
Now, I gotta tell you flat out, when I wrote the book, and we'll talk in a minute about how it came about, because the story is just so beautiful and so ordained and so divine. But when I wrote it on my iPhone, of all things, I actually believed what you just said. I believed that the book was, I'm going to ask someone's going to ask me the questions, the boys are going to answer. And that is actually what happened. But as I'm finishing the book maybe 2 months ago, it dawns on me that the book actually doesn't provide the answers. In some ways it does. But what it does is it creates a catalyst in the reader where you come away. Now, let's say that you are a devout Christian, and there's, I have no issue with any religion or any belief system, and you say, my belief is that Jesus died for my sins, and that is what I need, and that's what feels good to me. What the book does is it gives you the thought process, and it guides you through the thought process to say, one, I believe more firmly in what I believed before I read the book. I now know I really believe this. Or, I believe what I believed, but I have all these other little things in here that I hadn't thought about before. Or you know what? I've got an entirely new belief system. Because I'll be honest with you, my belief system is going to get me kicked out of any church in the nation, I'm sure. But the truth is, it brings me happiness. and the book is so beautiful because when the questions, and of course we've got to give our listeners a little bit of background, but when the questions come in, the way that the boys have orchestrated these answers, you come back and you don't feel threatened. You don't feel like, well, I'm not allowed to believe what I believe. It makes you go, wow, that's what someone else believes, and I either believe it or I don't, and I'm allowed to do that. And it really is, you come away, when you close the cover, you say to yourself, I know what I believe. And I'll tell you something, Sherry, in my work, 90% of the people that come to me right now are saying, Jamie, I used to believe this or I used to believe that, and today I don't believe it anymore, and it is not working for me. And I say that's okay. Let's find what does work for you. You may want to hold on to the fact that the Bible is this amazing divine book, or you may say it isn't for me. And really what I'm teaching people in this book is that you get to decide what at the end of the day resounds with you on a vibrational level and says, this is what makes me get up in the morning and say, I am enough, and I know that I'm connected to my Creator and to my source. And so it's just I'm so honored to be the person that got to write this book.
Yeah, and I think that that's so wonderful. I actually can't wait to get it on Sunday. Because
the funny thing is I had no intention of putting it out on Sunday when I booked the appointment with you to do the show. You are the first interview of what I believe. I'll be on national television next week. I'll be on the Shannon Burke Show. I'll be on all these different shows promoting the book, and you are the first to actually announce to the world that it's Sunday. And it's, to me, we're going to look back one day and go, I was the first, and I think that's cool.
I know. That's why I told you. I was like, this is so cool that I'm at the beginning of the wave.
you know, when you said that, I got goosebumps because I knew you saw it. You saw the power of this book.
Yes, and that's when I kind of knew. I was like, sometimes I have a guest on, and I don't know until we're actually on the air and it clicks or they say something like that, like, by the way, I got this going on, and it's just starting. Yeah. I have actually had quite a few guests recently where they're just starting something, or there's something that they're doing where they're like, this is important. I've been told this is important. I got to get the word out. And I've noticed that more and more lately.
And I'm laughing because I have done nothing except occasionally post on Facebook. I have my little Facebook, my 3,000 fans on Facebook. I post that, and I have a little bit of Twitter. But for the most part, my boys have let me know that in no way, shape, or form do I have to worry about marketing this book, because as soon as it comes out, the right people are going to find it. I believe Hay House is my publisher, but I'm not allowed to publish until I've done it self, because I have to maintain creative control. My brother did the artwork. Have you seen it?
Oh, no. That's cool.
Oh, when you have a minute, go look at my Facebook wall. It's Jaime the Psychic. When I think it was Saturday that I had my meditation and the vibrational shift happened. On Sunday, I said, Jim, I have to launch the book this week, and I'm going as far out as I can, so we're going with Sunday, which is July 1st. And I said, he goes, then you need your symbols. I said, I do. And what he did is he created a symbol for each chapter. So let's say I have a chapter entitled Emotions. My brother is Cancer, and he's a psychic artist, and he's probably in the last 6 months really started to develop his art. And he is, honest, I almost tear up as I talk about it. My brother's one of the closest things in the world to me. He lives next door, has for over 10 years in 2 houses. We've raised 8 kids together, and he's just both my brothers, but they're just amazing people. And Jim said to me, okay, and he said it took him 45 minutes, and just before the call tonight, he walked over and he handed me a white envelope, and it says Answers Artwork. And I said, what's this? He said, the original canvas. And inside the envelope were 13 paintings, mind you, of my symbols, and they are the most, when you look at them, and you'll have to look at it when we're done, but when you look at my wall and you see these pictures, your body just resounds with truth when you look at them. You look at the one for emotions, or the one for babies, or the one for spirit guides, and your heart just goes, I know this. And It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, except my children, maybe.
Yes, and I'm
looking
at some of them right
and
now.
What it is. Oh, you're looking.
Yes.
Aren't they amazing?
Yes, they are. They are.
They border on creepy, but I think in a good way. I think
I'm into symbol, so offing symbol, I just love.
I'm just seeing a deck of cards. I'm seeing jewelry. I'm seeing, I've never done what I do for the money, which is probably why I lost $3 million in 2008. I was the second U.S. maker of anti-spyware in the U.S. software, and I sold to Earthlink in 2005, and I retired at 35, and it was amazing. I had, I cut my album in 07, and it was just, I'm a songwriter, and it was the most amazing time. Well, in 08, this was 09, I got a call from Morgan Stanley, and they said, Jamie, we lost your money. And I said, define lost. He said, you have $75,000. I had almost $3 million in the bank. And I said, oh, my gosh. And I came outside, I lit a cigarette, I grabbed a drink, and everybody that knows me knows how real I am. I don't hold back. And I looked up at the sky to my boys, and I said, really? I was so angry. I'm like, I've got 5 children to support. And at the time, I had 2 stepdaughters, and I thought, oh, my gosh, how am I going to do this? But you know something? That was the greatest thing that could have ever happened, because the boys have been after me for years to put out a shingle and charge for what I do. And I had millions, and so I never felt, I'm a giver, and I never felt that I wanted to charge for what I do. And what they said to me was, where we need you to go, we need you to be taken seriously, and you have to be a professional to do that. And so as the time has gone since then, it was that moment that began what is now about to be something that's going to change the world. This book, and to kind of really just say it quickly, the way that the book came about, I grin, and sometimes, Sherry, do you ever say, did that really just happen when the boys or when your guys are working?
Yes.
You would just say, did that really just happen? I was sitting, I was laying in my bed in August 2 years ago, and I woke up that morning, and the boys really like to talk to me first thing in the morning or when I'm drinking, oddly enough, because I listen. I woke up that morning and they said, we want you to write a book. And I said, okay. And literally they're that in my head. I hear them as if they're talking to me. And I said, well, what is it? And they said, it's called Answers. And I said, well, what does it mean? And they said, well, we're going to have a person who's going to ask you a series of questions, and we are going to answer those questions with you. And I thought, well, that's easy. And they said, we want you to tell these 4 or 5 people, and it was my mom, my brother, his girlfriend, and my husband at the time, David. And I said, okay, that's easy. And I said, who's going to ask the questions? They said, we'll bring this person to you. Just put it out of your mind and don't tell anyone else. I said, okay. So I got up that morning. My brother and my mom came over. My mom often stays at my brother's. And we all sat out here. And I said, oh, by the way, guys, now you got to realize this was when I was really just beginning Jaime the Psychic. So they probably still thought I was nuts. But I did what my boys said. I said, I'm supposed to write a book. It's called Answers, and someone's going to ask questions, and that's what we're going to do. And they said, okay. And I could see them with, whatever, in fact, you're going to laugh. Do you see how ADD I am? You're going to laugh on the dedication of my book this morning. I actually typed, I may change it, but right now it says, this book is dedicated to all those who thought I was crazy and all those who knew I wasn't.
That is really cute. No, I like it.
I don't know. Do you think it resounds? It doesn't resound as egotistical because to me it's supposed to be cute.
I think that everybody can relate to that regardless of whether they have abilities or not. I mean, I know people that don't have abilities and that don't believe in that.
Sure.
I can imagine them saying something like that.
Well,
here's
it's
people who doubted me and the people that kept believing in me.
Yes. Well, it's even more than that. It's a deeper meaning in the sense that those that thought I was crazy gave me the catalyst or the contrast, as I talk about in the book, to say, no, I believe this. I know this is true, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do, whether anybody thinks I'm crazy or not. And so it just came to me this morning talking to my brother over coffee, and I said, I'm putting it in. So I did. And actually, I may not change it. I actually like it. So as time went on, that was, well, I'm going to keep it then. I'm going to bounce it off a few people, and if everybody agrees, I just don't want anybody to think that I have an ego in that, like, oh, you thought I was crazy, I'm going to prove you wrong. No, I'm not trying to prove anybody wrong. I'm saying I value the naysayer because the naysayer keeps me on my toes and it keeps me sharp. So
exactly.
I finished that morning. I forgot all about it, to be honest, and that was August. In January, I was getting ready to do a live event in April, and these are big. These are about 250 people at the Orlando Science Center, and I get up like John does, I've got my microphone and I read the room for 3 hours, and that's what I do. And they pay for tickets, and it's just an amazing experience. And what I realized this morning that I can't do, I'm sorry, it was supposed to be the end of January. I realized I can't do it that particular date because something came up, so I had to move it to April. Well, I remembered that at one of my readings in October, I had met a woman named Angie. All she did was ask me what her grandbaby was, and I actually got it wrong because, I don't read DNA, I just read personality. I said girl, it was a boy. And I even said, look, I don't get too hung up on this. If it feels like a girl to me, it's because he's a sensitive soul. And she said, okay. Well, after it was over, I said, listen, guys, I'm done. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Please respect that I need a little time to recoup. I'm going to go outside. I lit a cigarette. But before I did, my boys told me to tap Angie on the shoulder. And I said, Angie, could you join me outside for just a minute? I have some information for you. She said, sure. So she comes outside and she sits down. And about 20 minutes later, when everybody ignored me and still wanted to ask questions, and they all left, I turned to her and I said, I have a male on the other side that he says is your son. And I said, wait, and she nodded her head. And I said, no, wait, you have 2 sons on the other side. And she said, yes. And my heart just went out to her. I said, you've lost 2 sons. And she said, yes. One was a gunshot to the head, and one was a motorcycle wreck. Both were murders. And I knew that. I knew their names. I knew everything. And to paraphrase and to get it quick so we can get callers, the reading was about an hour and a half. Everybody in my life was coming out going, really, Jamie? And I said, you know what? Bite me, bite my boys. I'm not stopping until I'm done because this is the greater work. This is what I do. And if you can't handle it, that's why I'm single. If you can't handle it, then you need to go inside and leave me alone. And so she and I really had this amazing experience. Well, honestly, that's all in a day's work for me, as you know. And I went home. It never even crossed my mind again. Well, about what is this? So that was October. So in January, I remember that Angie told me that she had her sister flying in from Wisconsin for my live event. I'm about to change the date of my event. I'm freaking out. So I go to my list, and I find the only Angie, thank God, that was in the list, and I said, if you're the Angie that lost the 2 sons, and I read you afterward, please let me know if I can fix this because I have to change my event. I will read you and your sister for free, a private one-on-one meeting, if you'll forgive me for having to change this. She wrote back and said, and I'm actually going to put the email in the back of the book, she wrote back and said, Jamie, my sister canceled this morning. And she said, but while I have you, if you think I'm crazy, don't reply. But ever since I met you, I haven't slept a wink. She's like, I'm exhausted. The boys keep waking me up. Now, when she says the boys, she means her 2 sons, by the way. So they keep waking me up and telling me I need to write a book with you. I haven't written a book in my life. I can barely put a sentence together. But I have all these questions because I couldn't sleep. I put them in Excel spreadsheet.
Oh, my goodness.
And I wrote back and said, what kind of questions? She said, here. And she sent me the Excel spreadsheet, and it was, explain God. Is there a heaven? Is there a hell? Why do babies die? And I smiled, and I wrote back, and I said, well, it's called Answers. When do you want to get started? And my cells were singing because I knew that this book was not only out of my hands, but something that was going to change the world, and it was going to raise the vibration of this planet. Angie actually had a stroke in April. We finished writing around the end of April. She had a stroke and is still recuperating. So it's amazing that, and she has so many people relying on her. So it's amazing that the proceeds from this book are really going to help her children and her grandchildren continue forward. So here we are.
That's awesome.
And the book is done, and I'm halfway through the editing. And here in the next few days, it'll be released, and it's completely imperfect, and there are mistakes, and I wrote it on an iPhone, but that's what I have, and that's what we're doing. So that's the story.
That is so amazing. I mean, and I love when things like that happen. You'll never be able to explain when something like that happened to someone, because I've had things like that happen, and I've said to people, I got to tell you what happened because this is amazing. And then, there's silence, and that they don't get it like you get it.
Yeah. But I've always experienced that until now. Now, when I tell people that story, total agnostics, total people that have no belief in something else look at me and they say, can I read it? And, when you read it, I actually have LOL in my book. I have swear words in my book. I have the word sex in my book. I am the most honest author there ever was, because to me, this book is made for the masses. It is not made for a scholar. It is made for someone who's hurting and looking for answers and answers. I mean, it's so exciting, and I'm thrilled to be right here, right now, getting the chance to kind of get this off my chest and tell people that this is coming out, and I really believe it's going to be just an amazing experience.
That is so amazing, and I can't wait for Sunday. Stella says she's excited too because Sunday is her birthday.
Happy birthday! That's exciting. I had an experience in Mexico, and this guide told me in 2007, she said, you are going to remove the veil between the world we live in and the world we come from. I thought she meant literally. I thought it was some sort of literal energy thing. And she said, you're going to do it in the month of July. This was in 2007. I am launching the book on July 1st.
Wow.
And what this book does is it really explains in a way you cannot deny where we come from, why we are here,
right, what
our purpose is, and what we're supposed to be doing, and how to be okay and be happy with that process. And so, wow, I still can't believe they chose me, but I am so honored.
Well, what we'll have to do is, of course, you're probably going to be busy promoting the book, but what we'll have to do is after the book comes out, I had time to get it and I read it. You'll have to come back on the show so that we can talk about some of the questions and the answers and just the experience as you wrote this book, as you wrote these answers. I'm really excited.
I would love that.
I feel like I wrote.
Well, and I think, and to add a little to what you just said, I am looking at doing answers 2, which would mean maybe we could do a show where people that have read the book come in with questions they had while they were reading. Because
awesome.
This is a question and answer format. So let's say the last chapter in the book is questions from Jaime's fans, and it's the longest chapter in the book, and it's questions that people just put on my Facebook for about 6 months, and I would just grab them, ask the boys, and answer. And so what a wonderful experience to have a second book that actually answers questions that weren't answered or that were created by the first book. So you could actually be very instrumental in that. I would love that.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, if you would let me do that, I would be thrilled.
Yeah.
I would be totally thrilled.
That would be a blast.
Well, do you want to take a caller? Because we were talking, me and Jaime were talking earlier about the vibrational shift that's going on, and we were talking about, how strong this vibrational shift was, and she was saying how her readings, it's impacted her readings in such an awesome way, but also it's got some of us, turn around and feeling a little upside down with this powerful energy that we're feeling.
Yes.
This will give you a chance to see a little bit of that. Now, I've got Rhonda. Now, she is she wants to know, will she be in a serious relationship soon, and also if that person will be from the past or new. So let me put Rhonda on. Hi,
okay.
Rhonda, are you there?
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Hi, Rhonda. I have to laugh at your question. I have to laugh at your question because the second Sherry started to read, my boys said, as soon as the past, they didn't say as soon as, but they said, past. So I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, you have someone from your past affecting you in a very strong way, which means either you have not moved past. My brother said it to me very well on Monday. He said, you cannot, I'm in your same boat. I actually just broke up with someone. I'm very single, and I wonder sometimes, I'm complex. Am I ever going to meet someone? And my brother said, Jaime, until you create a space for the new person, they won't come in. And that's the first impression that I got with you. I feel that you have unfinished business with someone in your past. But the odd thing is, I don't think that this is someone that was the major one. I think this is a minor one, but it's affecting you in a very strong way, and it almost feels like an R name is like yours. Give me a little bit more info.
The person's name that I'm actually talking about, the past person, his name is Anthony. Like, we never really developed a relationship. It's like just stopped for whatever reason.
Was it one of those times where you just meet, because I feel him so well, and you meet this person, and you just feel like, whoa, and then it's like, no, and then you're like, what? And it's like you almost compare people to that one person that you barely know. Is that what it feels like?
Yes.
Okay. Let me say this. The answer to your question is yes. You are a beautiful energy. You feel almost Pisces or Libra. You're a lover. When's your birthday?
Libra, yes. October the 6th, I'm a Libra. It's October the 6th, I'm a Libra.
Yeah, you have strong Libra energy. Libras and Pisces women often feel the same to me, so I throw them both out there, but Libra for sure. I'm a Libra, by the way. Today should have been a very positive day for you. Venus came direct today, which means that love was really screwed up for the last few months, and today love just seems to make a little more sense. You will feel more loving, I would say it that way. What I would tell you is you are a sensitive soul, and you are a lover. You are a giver. You need to be with a giver. Now, this guy, I really like him, and I think that he just had some unfinished business, that he wasn't quite available. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. I think you're gonna get another go at this. Now, I'm not going to tell you for sure that he's the one, and we don't care about that right now. What I will tell you is that there is a lot to be learned for your safety. You've been hurt a lot, and you've been disappointed a lot. And I think that this person, while he, in essence, initially may not have been able to help you heal that, he's going to come in and he's going to create something. Now, if by some chance it's not actually him, what you're going to find is what you felt with him is going to magnify, and you're going to find that same feeling again. Only this time, whether it's him or it's someone new, you're going to have that ability to actually have a relationship. Do you have a daughter, a child?
I don't.
Okay. That means one of two things. Either that is very much, what are you, about 28?
I'm 30.
I only feel like what someone feels like to me emotionally. So that you're a younger 30. You've got that youthful feel about you. You're going to have a baby girl, and I think that not necessarily right away, but I definitely see that in your future because this figures prominently. Yes, you will meet him. But what I want you to do, and this is hard because there's a lot of damage there, what I want you to do is I want you to open your heart. Really open it, because Librans are the masters at illusions of intimacy. We will let someone think they know us, but they don't know us at all. Fair enough? And what I want you to do is I want you to sort of open up a little bit more and trust. Now, we can't trust people with everything. We can only trust people to be what they are and who they are. Fair enough. So as you go into this next phase, what I want you to do is open your heart up and expect and know that you deserve this and that you're going to have this amazing man enter your life. I think he's going to surprise you. Part of me, I would say 80% of me, believes that you actually already know this person. I think you're right. But whether you do or whether you don't, the new one, if it is new, feels exactly like the one that you can't forget. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I will tell you, this child is really around you. And just be ready. Be ready, because and this is so beautiful. You're going to be a wonderful mother. There's more, by the way, but this one really matters. This is your first. This is sort of that pivotal moment. If you find out you're pregnant and you're freaking out, remember you talked to me. If you want to find me, you can find me, but it's all going to be okay. And yes, by the time you're 32, you will have just a fairy tale life. I want you to go to my website. Just go to JaimeThePsychic.com. It's JAMIE. And Sherry, it's probably on your site, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's on my site.
Okay.
And I also put it in the chat room along with your Facebook link.
Okay. So when you go to your website. What's that?
You said I'm actually on your website now.
Oh, great. If you click the word stuff up top, about the second one down is a thing called Designer Life. Designer Life is an incredibly powerful tool that I created while pregnant with my third child, my daughter. I'm not going to say much because it's really important that you just read through it, But read through it and do exactly what it says. You can create a designer life for the man in your life. You can create a designer life for your regular life, your job, anything. This tool is so magical that when you do this and you follow it exactly like it says, I have thousands of clients that are living amazing, fulfilled lives filled with richness because they did this. And the boys are telling me that if you do this right away, tonight if you can, you're going to find him. You're going to have this beautiful baby girl. And I'd also like to tell you, you're with me still, right?
Yes, I'm still
there. Yes. It
She's
gets quiet, and I worry that I lost you. There's also one other thing. And you said your name is Rhonda, right?
Correct.
I'm just so terrible with names. The boys are telling me that you have a slight health issue, and it's female. So that means that it's something to do with the reproductive type organs or a hormone that's been plaguing you. Now, this is not something life-threatening. This is something that maybe might make you feel that you might have difficulty conceiving or difficulty delivering. What I want you to know is you can safely go to the doctor or not and have this checked out, but I can tell you that this is not going to be a problem in the future. Maybe endometriosis. Does that make sense to you at all?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You need to feel confident. I am also a physical healer, and I'm thrilled when I get to do this, by the way, because I don't get to pick. And certainly if I wasn't allowed to say it, I wouldn't. But there's something in your reproductive organs that prior to now was necessary. But after this moment, you are not going to have this problem. And you can just move forward with confidence because you are going to be the mother to this beautiful baby girl, and you're going to have this beautiful man, and it's going to be awesome. And I really hope you'll find me and remind me about this and tell me how it goes.
I sure will.
Yes, and
if you have any questions or any feedback, if I'm wrong, tell me because I'll admit it.
No, I don't. I thank you so much for
Beautiful.
Your reading.
It is absolutely my pleasure, and I'm smiling because you have such beautiful light in front of you.
Oh, well, thank you.
And thank you, Rhonda, for
You are
calling in,
welcome.
okay?
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a good
Have
night.
a good night.
Bye. Now, I also have someone in the chat room that asked a question. Now, hold on, I got to scroll back up. I'm like all thumbs when it comes to multitasking in this way. Okay, let's see. This is, I think she said her name is Tracy. And let's see. Her question is, Tracy, her question is, she would like to know when William will call her.
Okay. Tracy, and so she's listening, right?
Yeah, she's listening and she's in the chat room. Do you want me to ask?
Okay.
She can hear you.
Oh, okay, great. Okay. So the immediate answer is, does he really need to call you? And the reason I ask that is because I'm not convinced that William is necessarily, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not feeling that that's necessarily what she might need. Now, I think that she can be assured that this will resolve, but I think she needs to get very, very honest and ask herself, are the feelings that I have associated with this person feelings that are truly making me feel like I am enough, that I am amazing and beautiful and intelligent and the best thing since sliced bread? Because I'm not feeling necessarily that he has always offered her that. That said, I'm getting something almost military with him, which is interesting. Let me know if she responds, because it would be easier if I was talking to her.
She said, yes,
I feel like
need to have a heart-to-heart talk.
Okay. Ask her, or Tracy, will that heart-to-heart talk give you closure, or will that heart-to-heart talk make you draw closer to him, in your opinion?
Okay. While we're waiting, she also said, no, he is in the military.
is in the military.
Yes, he's in the military.
Or is not. Oh, he is. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I felt the military.
No, I'm sorry. It says no, he is not in the military.
Tracy, is there something that, because I keep feeling something that would actually limit him in being able to do that, whether he could be married. I mean, I just know that there's something that actually does limit his choice in actually calling. But beyond that, the more important thing is, what is this going to do for you? Because I feel that she can accomplish this without that phone call, because she already knows what I don't know, Tracy, do you want to change the outcome, or, in other words, make it different than it is?
Because she wants a deeper relationship.
And if he's not calling, then that relationship, did it exist prior?
She says yes.
And suddenly...
And she says she loves this person.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. And oddly, he loves her too. But there is a stopping point, and I'm going to go back to Tracy, answer this. How does he treat you? Are you feeling like this person is very, very loving and safe for you? Be honest.
She says, first of all, she says that they've been together for many years. We're at a standstill, and she says, not as good as I would like. It's a long distance.
No, okay, that helps a lot. So what I was feeling when I saw military was the fact that he doesn't live close to her. Okay, that makes total sense to me. Okay. Tracy, what is his sign? When is he born, and what is yours?
Let's see. Yes, she says yes, he doesn't live close, and he was born June 26th.
Okay.
And she was born June 29th.
Oh, my, 2 cancers. That explains a lot. Okay. There's something going on with him. My advice is to, Tracy, have you been trying to contact him without any luck? Like he's not responding?
She says, yes, we mimic each other's actions. We're 2 cancers. No, I feel he has tried to call me, but called me private. Tracy, do you not accept private calls? Is that what the problem is? Oh, she says she kept missing it.
Okay. Sometimes we take our insecurities that we are born with and we bring them into our adult life. And with a cancer, my gosh, cancers are so insanely sensitive. This guy, I think, Tracy, am I accurate in saying that his past has been painful for him, more so than the usual, especially in relationships?
And she says...
I love this. This is awesome.
She says, I would think I don't ask him about his past.
Okay. My feeling on is this. I think some of this is your own feelings of the unknown. He's not there. You don't know what's going on. A cancer, remember, especially cancer men, they cave at least once a month. They go into their little shell. You guys are the crab. You go into your shell, and it doesn't matter how much you love someone, they do not exist. So you have to allow for that when you love a cancer male. My
said,
feeling
yes,
on
he
it
is in a shell.
Oh, my God, big time. He's hurting. There's something that's touched a chord with him. And my suggestion is he needs to feel very safe right now, so don't accuse him of anything. If you have already, apologize for it. I don't think he's doing anything that's hurtful. I don't think he's doing anything wrong. I think he's withdrawing because he's dealing with something. My guess is if you have not bonded to where you can ask him more about his past, then he doesn't feel like he can go, well, here's where I'm at. It may be something as small as he's worried he has a tumor or something. I'm not saying that's it. I'm saying that he's concerned about something. Does he have children?
Yes, he does.
My guess is this is unrelated to you. Be his supporter, be his friend. Try to slow down. with the energy that we've been having in the last week, everybody is speeding up. Everybody is frantic. We're all feeling a little bit edgy. What I would suggest you do is slow. And if you'll give me a second, I'll send that to you. You should be feeling very, very yummy, very, very calm in just a moment. Okay? It's kind of like a drug, like a little IV drug going in there. My friends call me the human drug. It's hilarious.
She's asking you, do you see us working out, or am I wasting my time?
No, I don't think you're wasting your time. I'm not going to answer will you work out, and the reason I won't isn't because I don't see it, but because every relationship we have has a purpose. I am not convinced that the purpose of this relationship is forever and ever, amen, but I'm not going to tell you it's not. What I will tell you is that you are going to learn more about yourself in this relationship than you have previously. Part of it is your own insecurity, and I'm going to keep saying that because I don't think he's said or done anything other than withdraw a little bit emotionally because he's really hurting right now. He's got a lot on his mind. And when a Cancer has a lot on his mind, the last thing he's going to do is stick his head out of a little hole and say, hey, come on into my shell. They're not going to do that. So you love a Cancer. You are a Cancer, so you should definitely grasp this. Now, the female Cancer is much different than the male. You will take the bull by the horns and make life happen. He's a little bit different. He's going to be more reactionary. So what I would suggest, can you go see him? Like, is there a way you can see him in person in the near future? I'm feeling like that's going to happen like July or August.
Let's see. She says, I know he's going through work issues and all this stuff, but I have been putting up with his baggage for years, and I feel he needs to work with me. And then she answered your question, yes, it is possible, but I really want to see him and want him to meet my family, etc., which I'm not going to interrupt. I'll let you say what you're going to say.
No, that's good. Okay. Well, why don't you go ahead, Sherry? The boys say let you go ahead.
No, I just got this feeling when she said that about meeting the family. I just got this.
Oh, me too.
Oh,
me
no.
Too.
Not more.
No.
Don't, I know, I got it. Like, no, you don't need to put more pressure on this. Yes. I got that strongly.
Idea. And Sherry's right. It's not that, oh, my God, I mean, it would be wonderful, but not yet. There's something really sensitive going on here. And this Cancer, it's more than work. It's definitely more than work. I do not feel you're in danger with another female. I don't feel you're in danger of him betraying you. I feel that he's got something on his mind, and I really, really would like to see the two of you in person, because if you were in person with him and you could look into his eyes, which happen to be delightful and beautiful, I would tell you that you're honest. See, you got to realize it's your approach to him at this point that's going to make the difference. You have to put your own, and you're right, by the way, the baggage and everything, you are putting up with it, and you've been amazing. Unfortunately, it's part of loving a man, and loving a Cancer man is not easy, but there are huge rewards. I would encourage you to get the book, Why Men Love Bitches. And this book, I hope I can say that.
That's such a cute name.
You have no idea. The power of this book is unlike, it's the Bible for women who can't quite grasp how this man is thinking. It doesn't mean be a bitch, by the way, but it's a delightful book. It's an easy read. Please, 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 please get this book, because it will help you understand what this man needs you to be and to do in order for him to feel safe and comfortable and pursuing you. Do not suggest, if you haven't already, do not suggest the family thing yet. That will happen. I see that happening probably around Christmas time. Right now, you need to be in person with him. You need to look him in the eye. You need to say, I love you, or whatever it is you feel comfortable with, and I'm here for you. I think you need to set your boundaries, though. If his baggage is really curtailing and causing some issues within the relationship, you have a right to say, hey, not my problem. I love you, and I'll be here for you, but I'm not going to solve your problems. He wouldn't respect you for it anyway. A man does not want us to solve their problems. They want us to be there for them, which is a very big difference. You can never pull a Cancer out of his cave. Remember that. Ever.
And that kind of explains also what she's saying. His birthday was yesterday, and it was the first time she did not reach out and say happy birthday to him, and it was hard for her not to. But she, he has forgotten her birthday many times, though it's just a day before and after a week before, and it upsets her because it's only 3 days apart.
I think she did acknowledge his birthday. Did he have an issue with that, Tracy?
Let me see. Okay, she's typing.
Because ultimately,
she says issues drinking. She says issues drinking. I think he smokes.
And when she didn't acknowledge his birthday, did he say anything about it? And the reason I ask that is that in the book, it's how we train people to do what we want. And if he's forgetting her birthday and she makes the choice to go ahead and, what, you had a birthday? I don't even know. And he says, what? You remember my birthday? And she says, well, I didn't think we'd do that because you never remember mine. So why don't we do that from now on? A cancer, come on. My brother doesn't even know what day he was born, let alone, but he's my best friend, let alone someone else's birthday. I've always been my brother's social calendar. Hey, Jim, Mom's birthday. Oh, yeah. They love birthdays. They just never remember when they are.
And she also says, do you think he was sad I did not reach out, or did he not care, but we are only 3 days apart? And, usually when people start asking me questions like this, I remind them that sometimes this is more about maybe it being time for them to change some things about themselves and why they care so much and why this and that is a trigger and why it's making them feel so bad. Solve that problem to solve the rest of it.
Well, I agree with you totally, Sherry, because ultimately everything that happens to us happens for us. It doesn't happen for the other person. So what we have to look at is the impact on Tracy. And I really feel, Tracy, I feel like he's a good guy. I think he's a little bit disorganized. I feel he's wounded. You definitely have a lot to go through to be with this person. My question is, are you willing? And it's time for you to get a little bit of chutzpah here and stand up and say, wait a second, what do I want? And I'm hearing a lot about him, but what is it you want? And we say, oh, well, I want this man. No, you want a man who feels a certain way to you. Again, go to my website, click on stuff, and do Designer Life, because either he'll become the man you want or he'll move away and the man you want will come in. But one way or the other, you have a right to be with someone that is equal to you and that shares your baggage and your burdens. And I'm just not hearing that. No, I think he cares. Yeah, I think he cares. I think that he's a lot like someone I know, and I think he spends some time feeling sorry for himself. And I don't think you're that girl. I think that you take the punches and you go and you make it work. I think you've forgotten a little bit about who you are. And I'd like to see you stand up a little taller and say, I am woman, hear me roar, I am enough. Read the book. I promise any of the listeners out there, if you read the book, Why Men Love Bitches, it will change your relationship life. I promise. It's so good. It is so good. She should give me stock in her company. It's that good.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up the information for that book, and I'll post it on my website just so everyone will have an easy way to find it, because now I want to read it.
Oh, it's fantastic. I read that book. Let me give you an example. In the book it says, when you have a new relationship and you buy lingerie, in Western women, we're taught it all wrong, by the way. Make food for him. It says never cook for the new man. When he suggests you cook for him, smile sweetly, put on a sexy apron under, over your, gorgeous dress and your gorgeous heels, and serve him 2 shriveled hot dogs and a Tic Tac, and smile sweetly. And when he says, say, he'll never cook. He'll never ask you to cook for him again, because what men want is to provide for you. Make him cook for you. When you buy the lingerie, she says, don't put it on. Hang it on the back of the bathroom door so he has to stare at it and imagine you in it every time he uses the bathroom. It's about creating the fantasy and the mystery and the joy of pursuing. Men are the hunter-gatherers, and they must pursue. And if your man is not pursuing you, you do not have it right. Trust me. You are not the chaser. He is. I am chased down like you would, especially now because I'm single. I'm like, wolves at the door, and I smile and I say, okay, this is how it should be. So for Tracy, I would tell you, get the book. Any listener that is out there going, why can't I get it right in this relationship? He used to be after me and he's not anymore. I get relationship questions all the time. This book will give you, and the other one that I actually really recommend to my clients is John Gray. He has a book. He does the Mars and Venus series. Mars and Venus on a Date is phenomenal for understanding how men think. So Why Men Love Bitches, and then John Gray's, and I apologize, I don't know the name of the author on Why Men Love Bitches, but she's the only one. And she also has Why Men Marry Bitches, which I'm actually in the middle of.
Okay.
Not that I want to get married, but I figured it can't hurt.
Well, I'll make sure I put all the information for those two books on my site so they have an easy way to find them. Now, we've got a Suzanne from Long Island with an 11-year-old son living with his dad, and she wants to know, will he be back to her? Suzanne, are you there? Hold on, let's see. Okay.
I think she dropped the call.
Okay, maybe she
I can answer
dropped.
that for her. I'll just answer it for her.
Okay.
This is an interesting situation. If she calls back, let me know. Yes and no. Right now, your son does not understand everything, and this is very key. I've been through this. There may be some issues that he's perhaps has some information that isn't necessarily correct. He's going to draw his conclusions. At 11, he cannot possibly draw a conclusion that's true, especially as it pertains to you. It's okay. What the boys are telling me is that allow this, relax about it. Yes, by the time he's 13 or 14, there's going to be a change. Try your best not to force and not to, in any way, shape, or form, put down verbally to him his father. And I don't think you would. Actually, I don't think that's your nature. But right now, he's getting what he needs. I can't imagine losing my son at 11. My son is 18, and he doesn't live with me anymore, and I'm going out of my head. So I can imagine what you're going through. I think you're going to have some major upheavals here. I wish he was on the line. I feel that there's a legal issue that may come up about this. I would encourage you not to fight because he's going to be okay. Give it time. He loves you, but he's confused. You cannot fix this right now. So what you need to do is be his mom, be there for him, love him, do not pressure him. In a very short period of time, he's going to come back. But you need to not force it. And I know you may not trust your ex. I feel there's a new female in the picture as well. That makes it even harder. But if you just relax about the whole thing, it's going to resolve beautifully for you. When this kid is 21, he thinks his mom hung the world. So don't worry. It's going to be okay.
Great. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to take 2 more callers if they're still on the line.
Not at all.
Because
I'm yours. If it was tomorrow night, I'd be trying to get off the phone, but right now I'm good.
I find their questions very interesting. Now, let me see if Dawn is on the air. Dawn, are you there?
Hello.
Hi, Dawn.
Hi, Dawn.
Dawn. Now, Dawn is in school, and she says she's failing right now. So, Dawn, what is it that you would like to ask about school?
I'm actually failing the medical terminology part, and I'm wondering if I
knew
should
you were in medical. I was going to ask if you were going for nursing.
Yeah, I was going to do occupational therapy assistant, but I just took my last test today, and I failed. I got like 20 right out of 50, and I'm wondering if I'm in the right field because I'm going to withdraw from the class this week because this is the week that you can withdraw.
Okay. How are you doing otherwise besides this one class?
The English I usually get a B. In computers I get a B. Math I get a C.
The medical part you're having a problem with. All right, let me ask you a question. I want you to, and with my clients, I take you out of your mind, and that's going to be difficult because obviously the subjects that you do very well in are the mind subjects. So we're going to pull you out of that for just a second, okay? I want you to go into how you feel for just a minute. When you envision being an occupational therapist, how does that feel to you?
It feels good
right now, not before. Okay, so helping people feels good.
Oh.
When you imagine yourself in the job.
Right.
Say it again, honey. I'm sorry, you broke up.
That's okay. I said it makes. If I think about it right now, being that an occupational therapy assistant, it makes me feel kind of like woozy, scared inside.
Good. because I got to be honest, I don't like it for you. First of all, you're smarter than that. I think it's too limiting. When's your birthday?
August 8th, 72.
God, you're a Leo. No. I think, okay, first of all, take your self-esteem right out of it, because everything that happens to us happens for a reason. You're perfectly smart enough to handle this. You and I both know that. I think that the failing of this was an indicator that your heart is really not in it. Now, I'm not saying it's not medical. I felt medical with you almost immediately, within seconds. But I didn't feel medical as it came to the day in, day out, same thing every day, blah. No. What I feel for you is something more creative. Leos, you have to be in charge of your own destiny. I would like to see you setting your own schedule. I never in my life have told a person to go into nursing, because I think is the most limiting field in the world. So I'm not saying go into nursing. What I am saying is, and forgive me because I don't know what it would be called, but I see you doing something. And if you can write this down because you're going to have to look for it.
I am.
I see you doing something medical. But the thing you're doing, are you related to like North Carolina or South Carolina? Where do you live?
South Carolina.
I knew it. Because that means we're on the right track. When the boys just said South Carolina, so I didn't know if you were there or if you were going to move there. I'm going to give you an example which I think will help. One of my best friends in high school lives in Greensboro, North Carolina. She got her nursing degree, and I said, have you lost your freaking mind? And she said, no, because she also simultaneously got a degree in social work. And I said, have you lost your freaking mind? Because neither of these are careers I could see her in. Now, she did is she had a career that combined social work with nursing. She's free to do what she wants, when she wants. She travels. She's all over the place. You are a smart cookie. You are never going to be this, Einstein book person. You have gut. Tell me you could not land in New York City at 2 a.m. with sitting in a penthouse by 8 a.m. with the greatest people in the world. You have gut takes to survive. You need to employ that creativity in this career. You're up the right tree. It goes in the right profession, and I think you know that. So this is take a little step back. There's a guidance. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The what? I'm sorry, what was that? I'm sorry.
When you're in your school, is there a guidance counselor that has strong masculine energy? He's either a guy, I think he's a male, and I think he's African American. My gut. He's an advisor of some type.
Yeah, I keep going to him because I'm so stressed out. I have high anxiety, and I keep going to him, and I keep going to, I took a test to see what field I go to, and
okay.
And he told me that occupational therapy did come up, but he told me more social work or like law enforcement for some reason.
I really agree with him. The Leo temperament, you are a commander. You know who you are. I like him a lot, by the way. I want you to go back to him. I want you to share with him how you're feeling. I want you to share with him and say, look, I'm looking for a career that employs independence, and that's your word, by the way. Independence is your word. And I really feel you're not going to lose anything. You're barking up the wrong tree. But I think that everything you've got up to now is fine. Maybe not this one class, but whatever. I really don't want this to affect your self-esteem because you have a lot to offer, and you're intelligent, and you have guts. You have that ability to – tell me all your friends don't come to you to help solve their problems.
Oh, they do. They do. I just
Of course they do. You are a natural counselor. So I would tell you to employ your counseling, your benevolence. But you see, the nice thing about a Leo is while you would lovingly counsel someone, you would look at him and say, you're being a jerk, and you're wrong, and you need to do this. And that's what this world needs. So I would tell you there's a career out there for you. You're going to find it in the next 6 weeks, and you're going to just settle in, and it's going to be so easy. Because none of this other stuff is hard for you. This one class was hard for you because you were in the wrong place. It got you where you are today. Don't regret it. It's okay. And you will employ the things you learned, by the way. I'd like you to go back. Say it again?
I haven't been in school for 20 years. I just started going back to college last semester. And last year, I don't know if medical came up because I had, it was weird that you were talking to that one caller about endometriosis because I had endometriosis. And this whole past year, I was out. I lost my job because
debilitated.
I had a hysterectomy. I had a hysterectomy because of the endometriosis. And they accidentally cut me, and I ended up having 5 surgeries last year.
Oh, my God. And you know what I'm not liking is you're still having issues with that. I would tell you,
I'm not having
go back. Yeah, you are.
I'm never going to the doctor again.
I hear you. Believe me, I hear you. Remember what I just said, because while you may not be aware of it, there's one issue left, and it's got to do with a hormone balance. If you have insurance, try to find a doctor that does really good bioidentical hormone balances. How old are you?
39.
Oh, you're young for this. Yeah, it's minor, by the way, but and because I've not done this show before, I don't know what I can and can't say, but
you can
this is going to affect libido.
You can say anything.
I try to be careful because I do a lot of radio and I never know which one is which. This thing I'm talking about it'll affect your libido. It'll affect your desire, your passion. And I'm not just talking about sex. I'm talking about your desire. And we need to fix this. And the reason we need to fix this is because the career is a passionate career. And so you're not going to find it because you're not seeking it yet. And we know with our universe that we have to ask for what we want. And you can't ask for something you don't want. You're going to want this. And so what I would suggest is I don't want you to see anybody you've ever seen because I don't really particularly like any of your doctors. I want you to go to somebody who's a little more holistic and who's going to do a good hormone panel on you. Because what you're going to find is you're deficient in either estrogen or testosterone or both, possibly progesterone. And what we're going to, so Sharon, I'm cool to talk about
Yes.
Okay.
You can talk. You can say it.
Let me ask you this: Has your sex drive in general dropped?
No, I'm.
Okay.
I haven't.
You're 39.
Been ever since. Yeah, I haven't been.
You are 39. You should be humping the leg of life. And I say this to all of my clients. I actually have a T-shirt coming out that says "I'm humping the leg of life" because when your hormones are balanced, all you can think about is throwing someone down and having your way. So what I want you to do is I want you to go immediately, like right away, get a hormone panel done, get on bioidentical hormones to get that regulated. Because here's what's going to happen. The second you get the right hormones, and I also feel thyroid with you very strongly, as soon as you get those hormones straightened out, you're going to have this massive passion for life. And when you do, you're going to go see this guy that's your counselor. He's going to say one thing. You're going to look at it and go, there it is. You're going to end up in the greatest career you could ever imagine, but you haven't heard of it yet or you don't understand it yet. Trust me. By August 1st, if you do what I'm telling you to do, by August 1st, you will be one of the happiest girls alive. I know it. And you're going to feel a hell of a lot better. Are you having trouble losing weight?
I am. Well, I actually
have you been
weight since I had last year because of
this gaining of weight is hormonal. And the gaining of weight is hormonal, and you need to go see someone immediately. It's not life-threatening, but trust me, it's affecting your whole life. And it's a derivative of having the hysterectomy. I am never wrong. Go see a doctor, get a hormone panel, and go get that great career because it's out there for you.
I will. But the surgery, the guy that did the surgery last year,
we don't like him.
He cut. Well, he actually cut something that he wasn't supposed to, so I actually ended up with an ostomy bag for like half the year. I really went through a life-changing thing last year, and it was really bad. And like
it's very good.
It's like
wonderful.
It's like this year's like a new year for me. I don't even know who I am. I'm trying to find myself again because last year.
Isn't that a beautiful thing? Well, that is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yes.
You need to repair this. This is so easy. It is going to blow your mind how easy this is. Go get on the right hormones, and your whole world is going to change. You should write to me and tell me how right I am because I'm telling you, you have a whole world ahead of you. go do it. Get it done. And don't worry about career right now. If you need to pause school. But go get your hormones balanced, and then go see the sky. And, yep, that's your first thing. And please remember I said bioidentical. It's very, very important because they're the only hormones that work. And listen, if they're calling it a Target, it's not bioidentical. It has to be a compounding pharmacy. And it actually, a good book for you would be Suzanne Summers. Gosh, Sherry, what's the name of that book? There's a book by Suzanne Summers, and it's a bioidentical hormone book. Please get that book. It is phenomenal for women in your position. I take estrogen, I take testosterone and thyroid every day. I would be a complete psychopath and probably axe murder everyone in my life if I didn't. It would I'd be overweight and depressed.
Well, Suzanne Summers has, she's got a few books out, Explosive Medical Secrets That Will Redefine Aging, also How to Fight Fat After 40, interviews with doctors who are curing cancer and how to prevent. Yes, she's got a lot of books out.
I would recommend this for you, and put that on the site too, Sherry. Go get that book.
I think you're thinking about, there's one called The Hormone Solution for Permanent Weight Loss and Optimal Living.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good.
I'll put those on the website.
I can't remember. The name of her book is something very simple. It's Suzanne Summers, and it's the first one she wrote.
I'll look it up. I
can't remember it.
Yeah, I can
get it.
Yeah, but
oh my God, you are going to be happy that you called in tonight. If you follow what I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing. You're going to be feeling amazing.
I'm going to. But I was just wondering, do you see that lawsuit against that doctor? Is that going to go through, or is that not really a lawsuit?
Absolutely.
From what he did?
No, I think I feel very clearly want it to be necessarily, but I feel like it's definitely necessary. You'll be fine.
Okay, because I have an attorney for that. I don't think
you're okay with that.
What he did was right. Well, I just don't think what he did was right, and if you don't feel the attorney is responding well, just get a different one.
But honestly, back to your experience, the big thing is because you only have the hormone panel. Get your hormones balanced out, girl. You got to have the right hormones, and eventually. Not that I'm very big into doctorate. I am. Where do you live? Oh, South Carolina. I would say I have a doctor here. Find a doctor that's really strong in bioidentical hormones. Please go see him. Please get it straightened out. You are going to be so thrilled when it's done.
So
you're going to be humping the leg of life. Good luck.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Good luck.
And I will.
I wish you the best.
Are you on Facebook or not?
Yes, she is, and I put the link in the chat room, but don't worry, after the show, I'm going to post all the information, the book information, everything on the website, and I'll even update this show page so it has all the links that we've discussed so that you can find it easily.
You better write to me or find me on Facebook and tell me how perfectly correct the boys were.
I'm definitely going. Thank you, boys.
You're so welcome.
Very much.
Enjoy your night.
Appreciate it.
Okay, and thank you, Dawn.
And thank you.
Bye, Dawn.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay, and now we'll take one more caller. We've got somebody who's been anxiously waiting for you. Her name is Jada, and Jada's in the chat room, and she just asked, she said, is she going to be able to take my call? So
I will take your call.
I feel for her. Jada, are you there?
Hi, Sherry. Hi, Jamie. Yes.
Hi, Jada.
Hey, I wanted to
I have a daughter named Jaden, by the way, so I love your name.
Oh, Jada, beautiful name as well. I wanted to see if you can tell me if you get marriage and future children for me. Do you see that for me?
Of course. Absolutely. In fact, the only problem you've had up till now is you're just too damn picky. And I'm glad you are.
You know me, don't you?
You are picky. When is your birthday?
July 28th. You need to
Another
hear?
Leo. Doesn't surprise me in the least. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And as much as other people pressure you, are you approaching 30 or just over 30? How old are you?
I'm pushing 40, so that's why I'm concerned about
that's all right.
children.
Another another young energy. Let's look at you'll be 40. Okay. Let's look at relationship first. You are a complex individual. You are not simple, and you know it. You also come from a long line of women who know what they want, and I think that you really haven't exposed yourself. I'm feeling a little bit of fear here that you've held yourself back a little bit from experiencing some of what life has to offer. Sort of getting yourself out there and meeting the guy that would be a match for you. Someone once said to me, Jamie, and here I am single, so believe me, I've been married 3 times. I'm really good at that. Really good at that. Wonderful men, but none of them at the end of the day were what I was truly, truly seeking. No reflection on them whatsoever. Just, I was looking for something, and I maybe in some ways I settled, or maybe I grew. I don't know, or maybe we just grew apart. But what I'm seeing with you is that you tend to be so complex. I'm also going to say you may be a little rigid in the sense that you haven't really felt, I guarantee you have a strong mother, that you haven't really felt that you should have to bend or change to be with someone. Now, I agree with you on that, with the exception that when we blend 2 souls, there is a lot of compromise. And we don't, of course, change our core values. And I think what's very key here for you is what my brother said to me at the end of my last relationship. He said, Jamie, you need to find someone who has the same core values as you. And what that means is what is truly important to you? What am I at my core that I will not and cannot change, okay? So when you meet this next person, he may not be initially exactly what you usually go after. And this happens a lot, especially in my work. I want you to give a chance to someone who makes you feel a certain way, even if he's not physically what you normally go after. Because, I don't know, you have a real hang-up when it comes to something. And they're showing me Seinfeld, which means that, like, you can find something wrong with anyone. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong.
So what I would suggest, no, I'm not wrong. What I would suggest is step back, and I want you to close your eyes. The next time you're on a date or the next time you meet someone that you kind of like, I want you to close your eyes in your mind, because you can't do that in person or they'll think you're totally weird. Close your eyes and ask yourself, how does he make me feel? Because at the end of the day, I had a situation recently with an amazing, amazing human being who I am just totally love. I love him like you could not imagine. When we sit in person, I just there. He's beautiful, but the chemistry's not there. We get alone, and those lights turn off. Chemistry is the most amazing thing I've ever felt. That tells me that something wrong in my brain. I am not processing this person that should you to see this person, because in my mind, if I can have that kind of chemistry with a human being, this is everything I've ever looked for. I may just not be ready for a relationship. I don't know. So what I want you to do is ask yourself how you feel. If you feel yummy and turned on and awake, present and respected and intelligent and beautiful, then I want you to continue seeing him. Keep him. He is not what you're expecting. I can tell you that right now. He is not what you're expecting, but he will become the most amazing other life. Now, you mentioned children. If I could see your hand, I could tell you in 2 seconds. I feel children around you. Now, whether or not it's biological, I can't tell you. What I can tell you is you will be a mother. So either he has children, or you adopt, or you have a biological child. But yes, someone will say mom to you, no doubt in my mind, and this will happen. How old are you? You said you'll be 40?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Before you're 43. Before you're 43, this will all resolve.
Okay. Do you know how many children and what sex they would be?
No, but I definitely felt I felt sort of a blending, which means usually both male and female, more female than male in my feeling of it. But totally just relax about this because you.
Okay. Are you there still?
I'm here.
Okay. I see. Jamie's call dropped. So, Jamie, if you're, let me see, if you're listening, Jamie, you can call back in and hopefully it'll bring you back in. But what I wanted to say before we go off the air, and I'll tell you this too so that you'll know, now I'm going to post Jamie's Facebook information on the show page. So for you, and now what's your name again?
Jada.
Jada. Okay. Jada. Just so, and I'll send Jamie a message to her Facebook after the show as well. Oh, hold on, she's back in. Jamie, are you there?
No, she's not. Oh, yeah.
Hold on. Jamie, can you hear me? Hold on, let me do something. Okay, well, we'll give her a second. She's trying to get back in. And Stella, if you could get Jamie, if you could see if it'll let you put Jamie in the screen room, maybe she's just kind of stuck in there somewhere. Maybe we'll be able to get her back in. But for everyone who is listening, who had a question to ask, go to Jamie's website or her Facebook page and just let Jamie know that you were listening to the show tonight and that you had called in and that you were on hold, or let her know that you were in the chat room. Now, for those of you who did get to ask a question like you, Jada, or the other young lady that had asked a question, I know that you guys, you had a couple other questions that you wanted to ask. So go to her Facebook, let her know who you are, where you were at on the call or in the chat room, and I'm sure that if she has time tonight that she'll finish answering the question. Now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Jamie also has information on her website about how to contact her for reading-type questions. So, Jada, I hope that helped a little bit at least, and that maybe from this point, maybe you kind of know how you want to handle this, where you want to go from here. I would not worry about the age thing at all, because when you said that about how old you were, if you're going to have children, you know, the thought came to my mind. What popped into my mind is me and my sister. I had my first child when I was 38, and I want to say my sister was 40 or 41, and it wasn't until we had our first child that it was like that realization that, no, we didn't have anything to be worried about. We were concerned. We were going, oh, we're this old. It's not happening yet. I'm not finding the right person yet. But it wasn't until we had our first child that we actually went, you know what? I never had anything to worry about, but I didn't know it. But once you know what I mean? Once it happens for you, then that's when you realize, you know what, I didn't really have anything to worry about at all. And so that was the feeling that I'm getting for you, too. I'm getting the feeling that if this is something that you're spending a lot of time, it's been on your mind, it's concerning you, it comes to your mind, you know, every now and then it pops into your mind again and you go, oh, I'm this years old and I haven't done anything yet. You got to stop thinking that way, because I'll tell you, once you relax about it and you don't worry about it, that's always when it happens.
Okay.
And believe me, yeah, no, and that's what you've got to stop doing. It's actually, because the funny thing for me, I actually had gotten to this point where I had actually come to terms with possibly never getting married and possibly never having children. You know what? As soon as I came to terms with that, and I said, "Oh, okay, I'm just going to go with the flow. Go with the flow. I'm going to be footloose and fancy free. I'm going to enjoy dating." As soon as I did that, that's when it happened for me.
Wow. I've heard that before. I guess I need to just get there, huh?
Oh, yeah, exactly. As soon as you relax and you go, you know what? I'm okay with it if it happens. It's okay with it if it doesn't. that's when you're going to notice all of a sudden something like shifts. I can't really explain it better than that, but there's like this shift. Something shifts, something changes. And sometimes that's exactly what you need. You need to relax.
Okay.
So don't worry, relax, and, let it happen for you. And like Jamie said, be picky, but don't be too picky,
Right.
Really give the person a chance, really find out what is it you're really feeling, because you don't want to be too much in your head and thinking it through like, well, this isn't quite right, that's not quite right, because you'll always talk yourself out of it.
Right.
Stop and figure out what you're feeling, like literally say, okay, I know there's this and that, but wait, if I just go with my heart and what I'm feeling, what is that telling me?
Mhm. Okay.
And then I think you'll be fine.
Okay. All right.
And thank you for calling in, and I appreciate you holding and waiting.
Okay. Are you gonna post Jamie's information in the
yes.
page?
Yeah, I'm gonna post it everywhere. I'm gonna post it in a show page, and I'm gonna post it on my website too, so that you'll be able to find it. So check back in about 15 minutes, and it'll be there.
Okay. All righty. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Jada.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Well, it looks like we weren't able to get Jamie back on, but I look forward to, when she comes back with us and talks to us about her book Answers, and using, our show to actually work on the next book, the sequel. And definitely I look forward to that information coming out. I'll post it on my website, on my Facebook and everywhere. So look forward to that happening, because if you could take part in it and you could call in and ask your questions, what we'll do is we'll do an extra long show so that, or maybe we'll do a 2-part show so that you guys can take part in that. And I thank everybody for listening, and I'm sure me and Stella are both thinking the same thing. We're going to go and get our hormones checked. I'm
For
like, me and
sure.
Stella are thinking the same thing. We're going to go and get our hormones checked, and I'm going to throw up a negligee on the back of my bathroom door right now.
Yeah, right? I'm putting it on right now.
So I appreciate everybody for calling in and everyone for listening. Now I'm going to post all the information on the show page. So if you would like to connect with Jamie, go to her Facebook page. Definitely connect with her. She is an awesome person. And also, Jamie is a performer, family of artists, I've noticed. And I will also get the information to you about the book. I'll talk to Jamie, and I'll find out where you can purchase the book, and I'll put that information on the website as well. And since I'm going to get it and I'm going to be reading it, look forward to me actually doing a review of the book on the website. So, and, maybe what I'll do is I'll do something special like maybe I'll do a promotion where maybe if you agree to do a little review and testimonial of her book, maybe I will do a promo where I actually give away 2 free books that I'll pay for. So, look for information to be coming up. And I thank everybody for listening. Stella, as usual, it has been fun.
I know. It's been wonderful.
Yes, it was a great show. So I can't wait for Jamie to be back on. I really enjoyed listening to her answers. I mean, her answers were awesome.
I know. Especially the way she talks, the way that she expresses herself with so much fun and love and.
Yes, I noticed that too. A lot of passion. Jamie
Right.
is really awesome. Yes, we've got to help her come up with a new name and help her get it going. We'll have to come up with a new name and start calling her that, so that no one has to call her Jaime the Psychic anymore. I know her boys want people to continue calling her that, but maybe we can do something, Jaime the Psychic / something. So Jamie, we're going to help you with that. Okay, well, thank you, everyone, for listening tonight, and we look forward to being back with you on Friday, and we look forward to another awesome show. Thank you, everyone, and good night.
Have a good night. Good night.